Beautiful people are more prone to breakups. This is according to a new study that was published in Personal Relationships. And the research was done by social psychologist Christine Ma Kellums. So according to the research, it says here, quote, attractiveness gives you more options in terms of relationship alternatives, which might make it harder to protect a relationship from outside threats. In this sense, having too many other choices is likely not beneficial for relationship longevity. And then the way that they conducted this study, okay, so there's two parts that they did, two like little experiments. So it says here in the first part of the study, and this is according to hellogiggles.com, them breaking it down, it says, quote, in the first part of the study, participants were asked to leaf through old yearbooks and rate people on their attractiveness. Then they compared how many of those people were divorced. Turns out they discovered that the more attractive peeps also had more breakups. Also, according to Hello Giggles, the second part of the experiment, quote, in the second part of the study, folks were asked to rank actors on IMDb by their perceived level of hotness. Then researchers compared those celebs' relationships and also found that the more beautiful celebs were more likely to have shorter marriages and divorces, which to us seems a little unfair considering that many Hollywood relationships are plagued by accentuating circumstances like 24/7 spotlight exposure, but we see where they're coming from. Interesting. Thoughts, 5 words or less?
I haven't been dumped recently.
That's pretty ugly news.
Pretty doesn't have to hurt.
Yes,
like the Beyonce song. You guys know?
Reference.
Thanks for clarifying, Grace.
Like
Thanks
pretty hurts.
for clarifying. So interesting. I mean, when you see like a study when it's based on IMDb and yearbooks, it doesn't seem to really substantiate the study, but they have a point. I guess if you have more options, then you're more likely to.
Okay, but that's, yes, I
don't agree with
I definitely
it,
see like the correlation that they are drawing here, that they are projecting. But I think that if you have more options already plays into if you also have that sort of personality type that would be looking for those options.
I totally agree with you,
I think it depends on if you are a more monogamous person who isn't, like when you're in a relationship, you're not looking for outside options, because that's basically what they say, is that you're more likely to break up because pretty people wanna just be with more pretty people. And I think that's kind of a flimsy argument.
I agree with you.
It all depends on your values, as you said, of what you value in relationships. I mean, I have a lot of good looking friends that have been in monogamous relationships. Samantha, you're happily married and you're stunning.
Oh, thank you.
Grace, you're so chic and you're
yeah, how long have you guys been together? 4 years now? 3?
Yeah, just about 4 years.
Yeah, See, 4 years. My husband and I, 12 years.
I've 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years. So I think it all depends on the person.
It depends on the value.
And it's exactly, and it's a numbers game. I mean, if you are always dating and the type of people you're dating, LA is like a hyper bubble of a lot of superficial people. I mean, let's keep it real. People in LA, to me, from my experience dating before I was in a relationship, always looking for the next high. The grass is always greener. Oh, well, you may have this, but this next person has this and that. And that's just to compensate for something that's lacking within themselves. So if you're dating or in a relationship with someone who's satiating your needs on various things and give you and fulfill. We all have voids that need to be filled, right? And no one's perfect.
And orifices too.
And orifices, wow, Grace. Way to make it not PG.
Voids and orifices.
I was trying to say something that was uplifting and powerful, and never mind. I'm just gonna drink my coffee.
Okay, drink your coffee. But no, I agree with both of you. I think at the end of the day, it falls to your values and because if you're really in love with someone and you value that commitment, you don't even look at those options. You're blind to them. Of course, temptation is normal. You might see someone and say, oh, that person's good looking. That's totally normal and natural. But there's a big difference between those people that can I can do that right in front of my husband, be like, oh, damn, and I'll look at both sexes. I'll be like, damn, she's hot, or damn, he's cute too. And I think that's okay because we're confident within our love and our relationship.
Say it, Sam, preach.
I also think that relationship studies are a little tricky. I'm often skeptical of them.
Because of all the variables?
Yeah, because of all the variables, and that no two relationships are exactly alike, fortunately, and that love is a very subjective feeling. Like when I think of love, it might be different for me than how you think of your love with Mark or how you think of your love with your friends or with your family. But with regards to relationship specifics, it's just really hard to make these generalizations around how someone physically looks and how that will carry out into their intimate relationships. Because I know that I have been with people who I have felt are like significantly more attractive than me, my current relationship including. So now we're together, so that one doesn't count. But like when I've been dumped before and like when I've gone through breakups before, I don't think that it's ever been like there's so many other butch lesbians on this campus. Like I just want to see what my options are. Like there have been other factors. Maybe it is. Maybe they're like, maybe one of these girls is gonna like watch this video and be like, it was totally to find other butch lesbians on the college campus.
Do you feel?
I don't know.
Whenever I talk to people about relationships, I feel like people that are in their my friends that are in their late 30s to early 40s that aren't in a relationship always feel the need to they want to be in a relationship, and I think that. And not to sound all Oprah, but I'm gonna get all Oprah. I think the universe gives you the right person at the right time in your life when it's right for you.
Timing's important.
Absolutely. If I hadn't been trolling a men's health magazine website, I would have never found Munchkin. But legit, and I was off that day, and it just, you look back on how you ended up with Lizzie or Mark, and you think, wow. Someone, higher being or some omnipotent power had their hand in our union because everything just unfolded the way you weren't looking. It wasn't as if you were putting out this not desperate, but this needy energy.
You weren't constantly, you're right. And maybe that works for, maybe somebody was looking and found someone, but you're right. I wasn't looking when I found Mark. We literally like ran into each other.
And you shut him down.
I did, but I shut him down. I was waitressing at a bar and it's just,
Right.
But then I immediately turned around. I was like, oh, like I felt something immediately. And I wasn't looking for someone, but I felt something immediately, and we immediately like went on dates and it progressed from there. But I do think too that when with relationships, I think you're absolutely right with timing, because I can imagine if I met Mark when I was like 21, 22, I don't know if we would have lasted. Maybe we would have.
Even though you're both so pretty. It might not have been, you know what I mean? Like you could have been really attractive and met Mark at the wrong time, and then you would have gone through one of these breakups that are apparently sweeping the nation of pretty people.
You have to be ready for commitment.
And
I think you have to be ready for commitment.
Absolutely. Because if you're, I know one of the things I ran into some relationships before Munchkin was men are more physically, our energy is more physical. Our desires are more physical. I mean, everyone's horny. Let's keep it real. But I feel like men have testosterone and have these urges to just get it on more. And one of the things one of the problems I ran into while I was dating was that it was always about sex. It was never about anything but sex. It's like wham bam, thank you sir. What are we gonna do? And that wears on you after a while. You want someone who's gonna be interested in, oh, what do? Oh, you work at Pop Sugar? That's awesome. Or what's your family like? And also, I think that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We see a lot of these. There was an article, I think, in Essence magazine about Jesse. He's on Grey's Anatomy.
Jesse Williams.
About how while he's the attractive one in the relationship.
There was an actual article about that?
They were talking about people, you can't believe who. It wasn't a magazine. It was an African American magazine talking about relationships, who's with who, and the comments were, wow, I can't believe that he's with someone who's not equally as hot as he is.
So weird.
It is very weird, but we don't know just because what's hot to one person doesn't mean it's not hot to another.
It's subjective, absolutely. And I think that's where what you stated has so much weight. There's so many factors, it's subjective. It's really hard to just go through a yearbook or go through IMDb and have a result that, I guess, like you said, it makes sense, but when you really boil it down, this feels very shallow and surface. Then you boil it down, and there's so many other factors, and it really boils down to who you are as a person.
Also, final thought, and how many times have you at face value went on a date, or you were with someone who wasn't physically attractive, but when you delved into their personality, it was like this flower that unfolded, and they become the most hottest thing on the planet.
It's chemistry too.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely chemistry. It's getting to know their character. It's like a swagger, and I know that's a word from like 3 years ago. But there's scent. There's just so many other things that make somebody sexy as compared to just conventional physical attrectiveness.
That fades.
Yeah, and it does fade. Yeah, you grow old with that person if that's your goal.
And we're all gonna die one day, so take us out, Sam.
Yeah, okay. All right, share your thoughts on the study in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.